So Schmidt went 5 innings again into the third time through the order, 2 batters in this time. He hit Riley Green, who he just was trying to come inside. It was not an intentional thing, but Green had already taken him deep in that game. Second start in a row, by the way, for Schmidt. They gave up a leadoff home run and then completely rebounded after that. So that's good to see. And then he got Mark Canha to ground out to end the inning. But it was kind of a little bit more of a grind for Schmidt than even his start against Baltimore. So they pulled him after just the 5 innings.
Yeah, and he's still not walking guys. He's around the plate. Strikeout numbers are good for him. So a good at bat. Obviously, you want to see more depth, but he's been good. I know we pulled some numbers on his swing and miss stuff, and this was some interesting because when I was watching this, I'm looking at what he's doing this year compared to last year from an eye test perspective, and I'm like, the guy's not nibbling as much as he was last year. Last year, it felt like he was really trying to, guys were going into deeper counts. He wasn't able to put them away. And his swing and miss stuff has been just a lot better when you look at the actual numbers. And the big thing is in 2023, 22%, 22.6% swing and miss, 2024, 28.3. So he's up, 6%, right around 6%.
Well, just look at the percentiles in the league. I think that actually tells a bigger story. 2023, he was in the 36th percentile. So basically bottom third of the league. That's
K percentage. That's K percentage.
Yeah, K percentage. This year, 75th percentile, top quarter of the league. That is a massive difference.
And the huge difference when you're looking at the pitch selection and what he's getting swings and misses on, in 2023, his changeup was getting 9% swing and miss. Sinker was getting 11%. And when you look in 2024, this is the biggest difference. Changeup, 0%. So he's not throwing the changeup. And sinker, 23.8%. So he has essentially given up that changeup for the sinker and having success with it, because the other numbers,
these are swing and miss.
The cutter's up. The cutter is up a little bit from 22 to 29. The sweeper is 26 to 29, and the knuckle curve is about 33, which is about the same as what he got last year. But the biggest difference is the fact that he's getting big time swing and miss on that sinker, and essentially just traded it in the changeup for that sinker.
Yeah. Yeah, those percentages you were just talking about are the swing and miss percentages of those pitches that he's using. But yeah, you're right. He's not getting any swings and misses on the changeup this year. He's been way better. Just like for the numbers, but just like you said, looking at him attack a lineup, despite his struggles third time through the order this year, which he has had again, he's been way more effective those first 2 times through the order to lineups. One of the reasons last year he struggled so much third time through the orders because he was such a battle, such a grind to get through those first 2 times. Like
they saw a lot of pitches. Yeah.
So many pitches. Every at bat was like a 6, 7, 8 pitch at bat because he couldn't put anyone away. Even if he made a good pitch, it would just be fouled off. This year, he's having much more effective and efficient innings and at bats leading up to that time. So maybe you're right. It is, to Cohn's point, a mental thing with his third time through the order. Like maybe
that was a Girardi comment. Yeah. Well, what's interesting because we talked about
that's actually more impactful. It's coming from Girardi, a former manager, saying that.
Yeah. And a catcher.
Yeah.
So the other thing about that Cohn was mentioning, he was talking about that front to back. Like he should be, and maybe this is more because they were specifically talking about the 6th inning and that third time through. And Logan, if you can pull the changeup percentage used from what's the difference in that? Because Cohn was talking about, and I mentioned this last episode, but he was talking about that Schmidt using the front to back more than the side to side. And it's kind of going against what the numbers say for swing and miss. The swing and miss stuff is saying that the side to side is getting a lot more swing and miss. The cutter and the sinker, cutter is
sweeper. So let's explain what front to back and side to side mean, because that might not.
It's change of speed. Change of
speed is front to back. Side to side is movement on a pitch. So a curveball,
and then sweeper, up and down you can use like
a sinker.
more power fastball pitchers use more up and down. Like you see Garrett Cole elevate up with a fastball and be a lot more effective than a guy like Clarke Schmidt would.
Well, yeah.
So I mean, it's the style, but it's interesting because the changeup is not getting swing and miss this year. Obviously, it's down in usage also, But maybe it's also, hey, wait to throw that changeup later in the game to give you that front to back.
Go ahead, Logan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at his pitch percentages. I mean, he's thrown the changeup 7 times total this year.
Yeah.
So it's basically been
0%,
non-existent.
Yeah.
So he's been a 4-pitch pitcher with the
which is
two fastballs, the slider, and the curveball.
Interesting, because there's nothing straight that's thrown in there. He's not throwing a four seam. The changeup, a lot of guys has a little bit of a side motion, but it's more of a downward slower motion. But there's nothing in there that he's thrown on a line. Everything's got some movement to it with his fast stuff, and then obviously the off speed. So I do think that knuckle curve, maybe he's using that knuckle curve a little bit more because of the in different spots, because of the change in speed. You can get that separation from the knuckle curve. It's also got a very different shape up. But
I was in the car listening to part of Schmidt's game, and Susan was talking about how Clarke Schmidt is one of the most positive people she's ever met. I don't know if you were listening.
Did you hear him mic'd up? Did you hear the mic'd up segment of him? No. So I didn't catch it in real time, but it was like a cut up of this. I had no idea how much of how loose he is in the dugout, and how he plays around a lot, and is just I don't know, just more of a goofball than I was expecting. So I don't know. There's a lot of confidence coming from the way that he's just like very loose.
We talked to him years and years ago on this podcast.
Well, he was out of college at that point.
Yes, I know, but that is not the person we talked to.
You when you're walking out of college, he just had Tommy John surgery as well, or was about to have it. I don't remember which. And I think he already had it,
because I think he had it before the draft.
Yeah, and I bet you, even if you mic'd up Clarke Schmidt last year before last, and this year, you would probably have a very different situation and experience, because the guy is clearly, when you're pitching better, you feel better, and if you feel good, you play good. It's one of those things. He's got a lot of confidence right now.
Well, as Susan was saying, he's very positive. I'm sure confidence is a form of that, but just positive in the sense that if he does something bad in one start, it's like, oh, that's fine. I'm going to fix it between this next start, and I'll be better next time. She's like, that's the attitude he has taken, or has been ever since she's known him, which is, I guess, some insight on Clarke Schmidt's personality, which
it's also it's kind of a necessity as a pitcher, especially this far, right? You need to be able to turn the page to the next thing and move forward.
Sure.
But
yeah.
No one's saying that about Carlos Rodon.